your patience, a few important matters before we begin. First of all, I want you all to understand that you have rights as you sit here. Your first right is to remain silent, which means technically when I call your name, you have to come to the microphone. Your hands must be visible, but you don't have to make a statement. If you have not entered a plea, what we'll do is enter a plea of not guilty for you. But keep in mind, you do have the right to remain silent. You also have a right to an attorney, which is why there's always a delay in the morning to make sure whoever needs to speak with the defense attorney has that opportunity. But if you would like to hire your own attorney, let me know that, and I'll give you a chance to come back with your own attorney. And then you also have a right to a trial. That's important because maybe you've had some discussions with the defense attorney or the prosecutor about your case. But until you stand in front of the microphone and enter a plea, you still have a right to a trial. The trials are before me, which are called bench trials, unless you make the request in writing within the proper time frame for a jury trial. Before either trial, we will make sure that you know the evidence against you. That means you'll have a chance to pre-try it. And you can cross-examine any witness that the city calls. And you can have your own witnesses appear. And if your witnesses won't come based on you asking them, we will subpoena your witnesses for you. When I call your name, there are 4 types of pleas you can enter. The first one is not guilty, which moves this to another hearing or a trial. You can also enter a plea of guilty where you are admitting what you're accused of. And if you do that, I could sentence you today. A sentence in the municipal court, you face the most possibility of most jail time of 6 months in jail. The highest fine you can get is a $1,000 fine. That's the exposure on a guilty plea or a guilty finding. That would happen if you enter that particular plea. Then there's a plea of no contest. No contest is similar to guilty in that we can get your case resolved, but the difference is you're not stating with your own words, I'm guilty, but you're not contesting the allegations against you. That means in the event that you're found guilty, again, you face the same possible penalties, but no one can use the plea against you in a later proceeding. And then there's a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. If you choose that particular plea, we would have to stop these proceedings to see where you are and your ability to go forward. But keep in mind that plea is not available for traffic cases. Speaking of your traffic cases, if you're going to resolve a traffic case, keep in mind if you get points, the BMV will be notified of your points. If you accumulate 12 or more points on your license will be suspended. And if you then drive under a 12-point suspension, that is a jailable offense. So it's important to know that. Also, you must have insurance to drive. So if your ticket is marked no for insurance, you're going to receive a suspension from the BMV based on the lack of insurance. But what I do in this court is give you 72 hours for 2 things. 1, come back with your insurance, and then 72 hours to set up a payment plan in the event that you're not able to take care of your fines and costs today. The only thing I require with your payment plan is that you make some type of down payment, and I will extend your balance out. So when you hear your case resolved today, yes, payment plans are available, but within 72 hours, you need to make some type of down payment. The other thing I want to mention is if you're here for a felony charge, you still have the same right to speak with an attorney. You have the right to know the charges against you, and you have a right to what's called a probable cause hearing. That's a hearing for the city to indicate to me that a felony was committed in this city, and basically that you're connected to it, not that you're guilty. And what they're trying to establish is that there's a felony charge that's bigger than the municipal court, which means I would have to send the case to the county. The other way for the case to get to the county is for you to say, Judge, I understand all my rights. I understand the charge. I'm waiving the hearing. With waiving the hearing, you are not admitting any guilt. Instead, you're just acknowledging that the case will be sent to the county. Last thing I'm going to mention, I'm going to go back to driving really quickly. On driving under suspension, it's got very expensive in Cuyahoga County for that particular offense. The average fine is between $500 up to $1,000. I've actually seen a $1,000 fine. I haven't given that fine, but I've seen it. Your license are further suspended. You get points on your license, and some judges give jail time. What I do in this particular court is give you the opportunity to come back with your license. If you do that, I'll start at the $500 fine and I'll go backwards. I'll give you discounts based on the work that you've done to get your license. We don't suspend your license, and there may be a situation where we don't have to give you any points. Bottom line with license, just try to get some driving privileges so that you're not driving without a valid license. All right. Thank you for your patience. We'll call the cases. Shayla Rosado, 19 CRB 01319. Ms. Rosado, good morning. This is October 13th. Good morning. And it looks like what they're requesting the council on this particular case, we've already entered a plea of not guilty on the resisting arrest and obstruction, but they're looking for body cam information. You understand that? Yes, sir. All right. So we are going to continue the case. Babe, send us what date? 16, 2020. So it'll be January 16th, 2020 at 9:30. That's when I'll see you again. All right. Thank you very much. Take care. right, Marcus Harris. 19 CRB 01452. How are you, sir?
Good morning,
Mr. Harris, this is from December 4th, alleging that there was a domestic violence offense. And it looks like you are maintaining not guilty. All right. You remember there was a no contact order, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm going to maintain the not guilty. And we're going to set this for January 16th at 1:30 as the trial date. Any questions, sir?
No, sir.
All right, we'll see you back then.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 1:30. We had domestic violence ×2 and then the aggravated menacing ×2. #19 CRB 01404. Is it Inasia Lewis? Good morning. Ms. Lewis, we had already entered a plea of not guilty on the charge of criminal damaging, where they're alleging that you did shatter a window on Shaw Avenue. You're still maintaining not guilty and requesting a trial. Is that correct? All right. All right, so that trial will be set as a first trial date on January 9th, 2020 at 1:30. We'll see you back then. Nicole May. Good morning, Ms. May. All right, Ms. May, it looks like we have 3 different cases, and we're going to be setting these for trial. 15 CRB 00516 is back from 2015, where they're alleging that there was a menacing by stalking. With the alleged complainant being a Linda Jones. So we're going to maintain not guilty on that, set it for a trial date. And then we have 15 CRB 00517, which was a criminal damaging. We've entered pleas of not guilty. The same alleged victim, Ms. Jones. We'll set that for, again, January 16th at 1:30. And the more recent case is 19 CRB 01451, which is the aggravated menacing ×2 and criminal damaging. It looks like what they're doing, we're setting it for a trial date, but there's an acknowledgement that they're looking for surveillance video from the store. Is that your understanding? All right. So basically, I'm going to see you back on January 16th at 1:30 to move forward with these cases. Any questions, ma'am? Any questions? No. All right. We'll see you then. January 16th. And that's at 1:30. Dolores Martin. Mr. Martin's case is from 2010, March 5th, in 10 TRD 01263. This was a driver's license offense. Good morning, sir. Looks like they had a speeding, 43 and a 25, no license, and failure to display, and a seatbelt. But it looks like what the city's going to do at this point is resolve the case with the charge of failing to display your license, right? Amending the charge. So not only do you not get the points, you don't get the higher fine. They marked no for insurance. Do you have any insurance? All right. If you have it, you can show it to our clerk's office within 72 hours. That way the BMV won't bug you. Otherwise, they'll be sending you something.
I think it's
in the file somewhere. Well, Mr. Martin, as expected or suspected, I don't see it, which is why I went through that whole conversation anyway. But you can show it to a clerk's office, or I just wanted to let you know what the possibility was. Yeah, it's not on here. So I'm not sure. Maybe you showed it and maybe there was an intention to write it down. So to the amended charge of failing to display your license from driving under suspension, how do you plead? All right. And keep in mind, everything else is going to be dismissed. It'll be a $250 fine. It's normally $500, but I'm cutting it in half because your charge is amended and I'm dismissing the other charges. But I would say, Mr. Martin, if you can, when you go to the clerk's office, just show that insurance again, unless you have it, because for some reason it's just not here. I'm not saying you didn't show it to somebody, but it's not marked down for you. And I know the BMV is going to either ask you or they'll suspend you. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm just giving you the courtesy of the information. You know, technically, I'm just letting you know the ticket says no, and they'll be contacting you. They'll be asking for insurance because it says no. Whenever I don't know if they run other stuff, but they look at the ticket. The ticket's marked no, and unless I write something else in there, which I don't see, then it doesn't change. But yeah, if you have insurance, you're in good shape. You take care. Mariah Coleman. Ms. Coleman's case is 19 TRD 02521. Good morning. This is July 15th, where they were alleging of this year improper use of signals or no signals, littering from the motor vehicle, and the passenger didn't have on a seatbelt. It looks like what the city is willing to do is amend the charge so that you don't get any points to the charge of unsafe vehicle. Is that how you want to handle it?
Yes, sir.
All right. How do you plead to that charge? All right. Accept the plea with the finding of guilt. There are no points. It's a $200 fine plus costs. The other charges are dismissed. And if you need time to pay, we can work with you. Okay. All right. You take care. Marco Pennyman, 19 TRD 02837. Mr. Pennyman, this is a charge of driving under suspension, as well as a traffic control device. And it looks like what the city was going to do is amend your charge to no driver's license. And basically that acknowledges that though your license are not in the best position right now, you're working toward it. So I can still give you a little bit of discount off your fines and costs, and you're not going to get any points. And the remaining charges are going to be dismissed. So how do you plead to the charge of no driver's license? All right, I'll accept the plea with the fine of guilt. As opposed to the $500 fine, it'll be $300. So I'm taking off $200, and I'm suspending or dismissing those other charges. Mr. Pennyman, any questions? Go ahead. Yep. When you go there, they're going to give you the total. And at that point, you can either apply for it right away or you can come back within 72 hours. All right. You take care, sir. Amir Jeffries, 19 CRB 01455. Mr. Jeffries, this is from November 4th. And it looks like this was a possession of marijuana charge upon which the city is dismissing at court cost only. Is that your understanding? All right. So I will go ahead and acknowledge your agreement with the city. It'll be dismissed at this time. You just go to the clerk's office. Take care. Bruce Wilson.
Good morning.
Mr. Wilson, good morning. 19 TRD 02757. They were alleging that you littered from your vehicle on or about July 22nd, 2019 at Euclid and Shaw. And Madam Prosecutor, you're going to dismiss this at cost. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me see the last marijuana. I don't know if I saw that right. Mr. Wilson, what was the item that they're saying that you littered from the cigars? Okay. All right, so I'll go ahead and sign off on the dismissal at cost. The only reason I asked you because and I guess it depends, and it does depend on what you're littering. I mean, obviously we don't want you to drop anything, but one of the more recent cases that I called this morning, I gave a $200 fine for the littering, but I'm assuming maybe the cigars are different than what was littered before. So just be careful. Let's keep it clean and keep it together, right? You just go to the clerk's window. Take care. Jakirah Brown. Ms. Brown, 17 TRD 00837. So, Ms. Brown, you didn't post a bond, did you? You weren't? Yeah, I'm just looking here that there was a motion from an attorney to get, so you didn't have to post a bond. And you still yelled out today when they're gonna start. I let you get a court date without posting a bond, and you gonna dog out my court because you know they let me know those things.
I was here all day. I thought y'all go like who got here first, but I see I'm gonna come late because I see the people that got here after.
Well,
before me.
it all depends. It all depends. But I'll tell you this though, to be honest with you, when they mark you that you yelled out or said something like that, I'm honestly surprised they didn't call you absolutely last, because that's what normally happens. You would be the last person. Yeah, I'm surprised. I almost put you back under the pile when I saw this, but I guess I got another person coming up too. But all right, so here we are with no driver's license and a traffic control device. They marked no for insurance, but you've shown that Euclid and Delmont. It was at Euclid and Delmont. That's what I have here, where this allegedly occurred. But prosecutor, you are amending the charge to no driver's license. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that means, Ms. Brown, you don't have your license together right now, do you?
No. Right now I'm in doing a reinstatement fee process, so I gotta wait like 5 to 10 business days so they can approve me to waive the fee.
All right. How do you plead to no driver's license?
No contest.
All right. I'll accept the no contest plea with the finding of guilt. It'll be a $300 fine plus cost, and I'm going to accept the agreement that you have with the city, so that other charge will be dismissed, and you're free to go to the clerk's office.
All right, thank you.
Take care. Sharika Garrett, 19 CRB 00801. Ms. Garrett, good morning.
Good morning.
Ms. Garrett, this is a disorderly conduct from June 22nd, 2019. Madam Prosecutor, it looks like you have decided to dismiss the charges or nullify the charges against Ms. Garrett.
Yes, she brought a witness with her. Her and her witness were both employees of Wendy's, and there was another party who also worked there who came in and immediately began an argument with her. Then she called in her mother and a few other people, and they all had a big fight at the job. So since she was not the primary aggressor in this incident, the other parties, I guess, left before the police arrived. So just
Okay. Ms. Garrett, how old are you?
30.
30. All right. Well, happy birthday. Yeah, right. December. Now, look, you don't want to be one of those viral videos. Don't do that. Yeah, but I know it's challenging when people come in and may start something. That puts you in a different position.
Right.
But always think about, hey, when you turn 40 and you decide,
Oh no, it wasn't me. I was leaving to go home.
Okay.
My mother attacked me as I was walking out, so I had no choice but to defend me and mom.
So why did what was you and the mother or the young lady arguing about? What was the problem anyway?
She came to work 3 hours later, 3 hours early.
Okay.
And she came in and harassed me. I told her that she could go into the lobby because I don't need help where I'm at. And she did that. She called a group of people. It was about 15 people. It was just me.
Okay.
And when I clocked out, when I was walking through the lobby, her mother hit me. Me and her mother got the fighting. She jumped in. Another girl jumped in. When the police got there, I was there, but they wasn't. They took my car keys.
Okay.
And yeah.
And that was, when was that? So you don't have any, I mean, that was in June.
Mm-hmm.
So no problem since then? No retaliation, right? None of that.
I got 3 kids.
There we go.
I'm pregnant.
So that means no,
Yeah,
right?
no.
Okay. All right. Case is dismissed. You're free to go. Take care.
What about my mom?
Yeah, go to the clerk's office. They'll give you the details on that. Eric Carmichael. 19 TRD 03105. This is a driver's license violation that the city has amended to they've accepted the no driver's license. There was an accident they're alleging. Failure to stop after an accident, as well as fleeing and eluding. I'm sorry?
Yeah, they did. I looked.
What do they charge at the county? Okay. What's going on with that case now? All right, who was the judge?
First.
Judge first?
No, Nancy McDonald.
And Ms. Ivy, you have something? I see you standing up.
Yes, we from the docket, he was due here at 1:30, so I didn't bring this case up because he's a probation violator. So I don't have a case.
Mr. Carmichael, you remember being on probation?
Yeah, I did probation and I did remedial classes with you. And that was the end of my probation.
Okay, well, let's
Like 7
I can go down.
have a seat. Let me have Ms. Ivy bring that up so that you don't have to sit around and wait until 1:30. We'll get all resolved in a second. So have a seat for a minute. Ms. Ivy, before you leave, are you working with Calvin Fair? Is that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Fair, come on up. 19 CRB 00376. Mr. Fair is back in East Cleveland Court. Mr. Fair, how are you this morning?
I'm doing all right, man. I've been spending in jail for 7 months, man.
Judge.
Dawson. I've been in jail for 7 months, and I just got out Monday. They come pick me up.
All right, so we're gonna get you out of jail, but you understand
Thank you, sir.
the main order I have for you in 19 CRB 00376 is no contact at this point. Remember, that was our issue, and I tell people all the time that we can work out a lot of things, but when there's a violation of the protection order, that's jail time. So, Ms. Ivy, what I want to do for Mr. Fair is release him from jail and set up a date to come and set up everything with probation.
Yes, Your Honor.
I know he was working with Dr. Williams at one point.
Well, we never got the opportunity.
Okay.
Because when he initially started, he was arrested in probation.
All right, so let's do that.
In your office.
Right, in my office.
Right. We was getting acquainted with each other then.
Yes, we were.
Well, I'm looking for a good resolution, but keep in mind the no contact is still in place.
You need to say something?
Yes, sir.
When I first came here on Monday, they gave me the paper saying that I was violating protection order. And I know last time I got 60 days from you. I ain't sleeping since Monday, man. I need to go home and get me some sleep, man. I'm tired. I worried all night behind that, man.
We're gonna get you out of here.
Please. Today, I go home today, man. I've been locked for 7 months.
Well, I'm gonna let you go home if you don't call me man one more time, because they keep saying just say judge, but I understand. I don't take it personally. But so yeah, I'm gonna release you on a $10,000 personal bond. Miss Ivy, what day are we gonna set?
I think January now. Your Honor.
Okay. I'm sorry. January 6th at 2:00 is when you're gonna come back and see Miss Ivory.
Yes, sir.
And Your Honor, just so you know for the record, I've been in contact with the county on his case. I spoke to them in November. And the matter is set for, the new DD matter is set downtown for another pre-trial on January 2nd. And then the trial is set the following month. So we, in my conversations with the county, we were going to see also what happened down there.
Okay.
And try to, if he is found guilty, try to work it out so that he's not doing the same things in both places.
Absolutely.
Just so the court will be aware.
Okay. All right. So you'll be released today, and we'll see you on that day. Take care. Jason Kelso. Mr. Kelso, 19 CRB 01195. Good morning. All right, so Mr. Kelso, just to bring me up to speed, last time I saw you was in September. And what's happened since between now and that time?
I got locked up because remember I had a warrant.
Okay.
So he let me go. He gave me a personal bond. Told me to contact you if I was to ever get out.
Right. So you've been there what did they so that was in September. Why did they keep you this long? Was it a violation or something like that, or what was going on?
I had a felony case.
All right. Is that still going on?
No.
Who was the judge?
Nancy first.
Okay. And how did it get resolved? Was there a plea or
Probation.
probation? So you're on probation to them now? So what we're going to do, basically, we have to reset on the assault, resisting arrest, obstruction of official business, and sexual imposition. So you remember those charges, correct? We're going to maintain not guilty. I'm going to set the pretrial for January 9th, 2020 at 9:30, and I'm going to reinstate the bond so that you can leave and return to us, all right? So you're going to have the court date for January 9th at 9:30. Any questions, sir? All right, we'll see you. You know what, Mr. Kelso, you know, I do see here that I put a no contact order when me and you first saw each other.
I don't even know who that person is, Your Honor.
All right, so let me just, in that case, let me see if they have anything here so I can just. So they have a Kayla Kennedy. Remember that? So I'm just going to put here no contact because I don't know anything else and you've been away. You spoke with the defense attorney, correct, Ms. Humphrey? So you remember the charge. You know exactly what you're charged with. All right. So there'll be a no contact with Kayla Kennedy, and I'll see you back on January 9th. All right, you can have a seat. Yes, sir.
When will I be sent back downtown? Today?
So you're not released from them. They brought you back here for this. You
I
still
gotta go back. They wouldn't, because I got an ankle monitor.
okay
Yes, and they wouldn't let me. I go back down there
until you finish this. You'll be back today. All right. I'm gonna put that here too.
All right, thanks.
Judge Dawson, that's your question.
Yes, sir.
You don't tell me to release me and did search.
No, I
All
don't.
my people tell me I picked you up.
No, I don't. I don't, but maybe Mr. Plummer can help you with that a little later on. Yeah, I don't have a clue at all. Nate Pritchett. Ms. Pritchett, good morning. How long have you been in jail? Yeah, this time.
Since Tuesday morning.
Okay. Ms. Pritchett, what they have here is an obstruction of official business and criminal trespass, where they're alleging that on December 17th, you were at the property on Euclid after being advised not to be there at a particular place.
Unless I was visiting somebody, which I was. They just saw me coming out the building and they assumed like I was just there.
Who told you can be there if you're visiting somebody?
The managers. I can't be there unless I'm visiting somebody.
That's what they took. That's what you understand?
Yes.
Well, I'm just gonna let you know, I'm reading the complaint that says no trespass. I'm not the manager, obviously, and I don't know, but what I would suggest as we're about to get this case moving a little bit is if they're to the point where they're getting you arrested for being there, I wouldn't be there. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're saying you were visiting somebody and you've been in jail since Tuesday, I wouldn't even go back to that location because they didn't clear it up for you. That's my point. You see what I'm saying? All right, so they have the criminal trespass and they have obstruction of official business because they're stating that on December 17th, you identified yourself as another person, falsifying your birthday during booking. What the prosecutor and defense attorney has worked out is that you were going to enter a plea of no contest to obstruction of official business, and they would dismiss the trespass. Is that your understanding? So how do you plead to that charge? The falsification and giving the wrong birthday. How do you plead to that? Did you give the wrong information when you were booked in? All right. So your attorney is saying that you're going to admit that. So if you're going to admit that based on your conversation with the attorney, that's a plea of guilty. So you want to enter a plea of guilty? Or do you want to maintain that you didn't do it? But yeah, if you did it, yeah, that's fine. So tell me about this trespassing. Where do you live? Do you live in East Cleveland?
Well, I live in University High School. My mom. I'm just down here visiting my auntie.
And how old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay. And this is where this building is where your auntie lives?
Yeah.
All right. So again, if you live with your mom in university, I wouldn't even come to East Cleveland to visit your auntie if that landlord is gonna, or somebody, the manager is gonna have you arrested. You know what I mean? You want to get some clarity on that before you end up spending 2 or 3 days in jail, especially over the holiday season, right? Are you working currently?
No.
Did you graduate from high school?
Yes.
What year did you graduate?
I graduated 2017.
All right. All right, this is what I'm going to do. On the guilty plea, couple things. I am going to release you from jail today, but I'm going to set a date for you to meet up with my probation department. Mr. Melly's going to give you a date because there's a program I want you to get involved with for young ladies that I have here. And what I'm going to do in your particular situation, because you're not working, your fine is $250 plus costs, right? But when you complete my program, I'm going to consider vacating your fine. So not only are you ordered to the program, but there's a benefit, a financial benefit of not messing up on the program. So you're going to be released from jail today. What day can I have a meet with Mr. Medley? So don't forget, on January 6th at 3 o'clock, come back and meet with my probation, because if not, there'll be a warrant issued for your arrest.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Medley, you want to come your way or have a seat?
No, come on, yeah.
Or you can step down this way, right here. When is the quorum? I think my program has started. Erielle Wilkins. Ms. Wilkins, 19 CRA 01472 is a felony charge of felonious assault. It is a felony of the second degree where you're looking at the possibility of 2 to 8 years in prison and a $15,000 fine. They're alleging that on December 14th, you did cause serious physical harm to another by stabbing Darren Anthony in the right upper thigh with a pocket knife. Yep, come on up. Yes. Wow. are you?
So I didn't want to put this on the record because there's other felonies in the room, but due to some grace by the city and I find negotiating skills, the city is electing to keep this here as a misdemeanor. The main misdemeanor DV is what she's going to ultimately plead to. The main reason is there is a history of domestic violence between her and the alleged victim in this case. I did have the opportunity to talk to the detective.
Okay.
The victim on the case is not cooperative, has not responded to police requests to make a statement. They don't even know whether he got medical treatment.
His boyfriend? Or?
It is his boyfriend.
Okay.
There, we had also got, our officer got a call from a mother about their past history.
Okay.
He also has, the detective has a video that shows a surveillance camera from the Shell gas station where he's clearly assaulting her.
Okay.
And two of the clerks grab him.
Right.
And that's when she took the opportunity to stab him, but he was clearly the aggressor in this incident.
So if we release her and let her come back Monday,
They do not live together.
Okay. Who does she stay with?
They were staying with his mom. Apparently there were some DV type issues not too long ago. She left his mom's house and she has a cousin in Bedford she can stay. She's also requested to go to a DV shelter, but I said, I don't know if that can get done today, but she does have a cousin she can stay with in Bedford, provided a name and address. And she knows when she comes down here that she's pleading to a DV.
Okay.
But I think she can probably, my guess is if this goes downtown, he's not going to appear. They're either going to offer her a misdemeanor.
Okay. We can work with it.
Yeah.
All right.
Or it's going to get dismissed downtown.
I mean, just to put some resources or something.
Okay.
Definitely needs resources.
Thank you. Vince? Can you go grab Don Tibbs? Can you tell her? Yes, sir. All right, Miss Wilkins. Okay, so what I understand, and I'll let the city make a record because right now I have a felony charge, but Madam Prosecutor, it looked like this may be moving in a different direction.
Yes, upon reviewing some of the evidence and discussions with the public defender as well as the detective, we believe that this case is more suited to misdemeanor charges. So we will be refiling this as a misdemeanor domestic violence, anticipating today.
You've been in jail 5 days? When will you have the paperwork ready for that? You think Monday, or do you need a little bit more time?
Tomorrow, Monday.
Okay, so I'm gonna set a court date for you to come back here. It'll be Monday, which is, what's Monday? That's 23rd. Come on this way. At 9:30. Okay. All right. All right, so Ms. Wilkins, you understand I'm going to have you come back on Monday. We're going to get you released. There's going to be a no contact, so it's my understanding you're going to stay with your cousin, right, in Bedford? The biggest thing is don't forget to come back on Monday at 9:30. And as of right now, there'll be no contact with the alleged victim, okay? Any questions? All right, you can have a seat. Yes, thank you. Yes. I'll just get out. Don just gave me this. This case. That's that guy right there. And the whip. He just gave it to me. She said it's not finished. I don't know how I got to it. Yeah, she just here, and I put it right here for a minute. Jasmine Coleman. Ms. Coleman, 19 TRD 02760. This is an obstructed license plate that looks like the city is dismissing at court cost only. Is that your understanding? It will be dismissed at cost. You're free to go. Take care. Miss Ivory's not back. Laurevale Adams. All right, Mr. Adams, I have an old case from 2015. That's 15 CRB 00238. Resisting arrest, obstruction of justice, evading payment of known fares, and misconduct involving public transportation. And that was from March 25th, 2015. It looks like you just never appeared on that particular case, but your counsel is getting the case resolved today. How long have you been in jail?
Since Monday.
All right. Looks like you were going to plead no contest to fare evasion. Is that correct?
Yes.
So it means you were over at the RTA and didn't pay your fare. That's basically what the charge is. All right. So a couple of things. I'm going to go ahead and accept your no contest plea with a finding of guilt. Mr. Adams, I'm going to talk about the other case, but keep in mind, fare evasion does not have to get to the point of resisting arrest and misconduct. All you know, if they give you a ticket or if they want to arrest you, just accept that. Come over here. You know, you're going to have to deal with the fines and costs, but as long as you're not over there fighting and being disruptive, you're not going to sit in jail for these cases. It's simply, okay, Judge, I didn't have my money. They caught me, but I didn't do anything else. For me, it's a $25 fine, you know, and it's no jail time. So again, all this other stuff, you don't have to go through that. So I'm going to accept what the city is doing on those cases, and they're owed. So she's dismissing the other charges. It's $25 plus cost. And then I have this other charge we're going to deal with. The newer charge is 19 CRB 01476. And this is from December 16th, where they allege that you obstructed official business by failing to give correct information identifying yourself on a piece of paper, or after the Ohio identification card was found to be damaged. And this was on the 16th of December. And then there is also a charge of having in your possession a BB gun, which you did present to the public in the city of East Cleveland as if it was a firearm or deadly weapon. It looks like at this point, the city is going to, through the work of counsel, dismiss the charge of obstruction or obstructing official business, and you're going to enter a plea to having that BB gun. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
How do you plead to that? All right. And Mr. Adams, what did you have the BB gun for? What was the point of that?
Actually, I just wanted some attention.
All right.
I ain't had nowhere to go.
All right. What about now? Do you have a stable place to go, or where you?
I'm trying to get in that shelter on 20th of St. Clair.
Okay.
I was waiting on them to give me a room.
Okay, so you're waiting on the shelter to give you a room?
Yeah.
All right. So again, Mr. Adams, my goal is not to have you, finding shelter that way, being locked up. That's not the goal. Just, you know how to conduct yourself. How old are you?
37.
37, all right. So, on the firearm charge, no contest. Again, it'll be a $25 fine. I'm gonna have you released. For me, it's not about the jail time. I'd rather just see you, get you someplace to stay, someplace warm, and begin the process of getting back on your feet. I will tell you this, if you have any questions or if there's some things that you don't understand while you're trying to work things out, our probation department sees people on Tuesdays, open probation. That's a busy day, but if you just wanted to say, Mr. Medley or Miss Ivory, do you have any way to point me in a different direction, or do they know somebody? Maybe they can make a call to a shelter and see if they can get you in a little faster. So there are resources, there are people out there willing to help you, but you got to present yourself in a way that's not threatening. You know what I'm saying? No BB guns, no disorderly conduct. All right, you can have a seat, sir. You'll be released. You're welcome.
I'm sorry, what was his charge?
Having a fake firearm, presenting it as real.
If he comes to see me tomorrow, when he's released, I can see about getting, I
You can help him
put
out.
him in the Salvation Army.
So you hear that? Miss Ivory is saying if you come back here tomorrow to East Cleveland Court, she can help you get some housing or do her best. Absolutely.
Right.
So that's better than just going down. She'll talk with Salvation Army for you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So where are we? Miss Ivory, are you ready for Mr. Carmichael's case? Where's Carmichael's case? You ready for that one? All right, Mr. Carmichael. 19 TRD 03105. Again, we were here on the charge that looks like you said that you were indicted on. Before we move forward, the city had resolved this case by having you plead to no driver's license and unsafe vehicle, and they were going to throw out failing to stop after an accident and all that. So let's get that resolved. How do you plead to the no driver's license? Accept the plea, giving you the discount of $200 is $300 plus cost. To unsafe motor vehicle, how do you plead to that? That's normally a $200 fine. It'll be $100, so I'm gonna cut that in half. So this traffic issue is resolved. Miss Ivory, what's going on with probation?
Yes, Your Honor. I spoke with Mr. Carmichael. He said that he was told by someone in my office that the day he came to see me, I wasn't in. Which I don't take up on important duties other than when I was out on medical. And they told him he didn't have to come back anymore, which that's not quite the way it's handled. But in any case, can't go back and change that. He does have the lady that he was on probation with here is the same lady that the county case is now on. He's on probation for 1.5 years.
Okay.
With the county. He served, I think it's 60 days, Your Honor, 60 to 90 days. So, and ours is a 2013 case.
All right.
So if we terminate probation, at least he's on down there with the county.
All right. So, Ms. Carmichael, what we're going to do is terminate our probation officially, and you just deal with the county going forward. All right. So, Ms. Ivory, you just give me the journal entry on that when you get a chance, because I don't have a file, and we'll go from there. So you're done.
I paid
On the county.
Or just to terminate probation or to close the case.
a $300 bond.
Okay.
And I was downtown. They came and got me from downtown. They said I had a warrant for my arrest for the tickets, and I never got no tickets.
Okay.
And then they said $300.
Yeah, and it looks like we have.
I did 9 days downstairs.
It looks like we have notice of that bond, so that won't disappear for you. You may owe a little bit more, and if you do, we'll give you time to pay that. All right. So your bond, it doesn't look like it's going to disappear because it looks like everything is in order as far as I can see here.
Yeah,
all right.
They said I had a warrant for my arrest, and they put me right back in jail after I got out of town.
Yeah, well, you're done now. I mean, it looks like what happened was the case wasn't resolved. What I see here is that on September 15th, let me see, this happened on August 28th. You were supposed to be here on September. When you say y'all, it wasn't me. So, yeah.
I was sent down to the county from here.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure why the officers didn't let you know that you were charged with traffic violations, too.
I didn't have no tickets. I didn't never receive a ticket.
Okay.
They said I had a warrant for my arrest. If I don't know about it.
Okay. Well, it's resolved at this point. You know, I've accepted the plea. The case is resolved. You didn't deal with the driver's case downtown. You only dealt with the accident. So they still kept that file open. So when you go to clerk's window, they'll give you the details from there. All right.
One more thing.
Mm-hmm.
I got a block on my license. I just got my red statement. And I showed them my insurance, my SR 222 bond. But they have a block on me down here.
Well, there won't be any blocks anymore because the case is resolved. The block was because I didn't see you since September. They had a court date for you in September, September 11th. We didn't put a warrant block on you till September 25th. Today you've entered plea, so it's over for now. So you wouldn't have any blocks. Yep. They'll give it to you at the window. Yep, you're free. You're in good shape. I do not, but they'll give you all those details at the clerk's office. All right. You're free to go. Take care, sir. You're welcome. All right, take care. All right, Kelvin Thomas. The last one. All right, Mr. Thomas, let me see how we're resolving these cases. We're maintaining not guilty on the old ones. New ones. Guilty. Mr. Thomas, how long you been in jail? 3 days, okay. I know there's a probation issue here. Mr. All right, so I'm going to call up the case that's looks like maybe most recent, 19 CRA 01478, which is from December 17th, alleging the possession of drugs. They've charged it as a felony of the 3rd degree, where you're looking at the possibility of 9 to 36 months and a $10,000 fine, because they're saying that you did possess narcotics inside the vehicle that you were in. You spoke with the defense attorney in regard to the felony charge? Okay. So Humphrey, how are we proceeding now?
Your Honor, at this time, we'll enter a plea of not guilty, waive the preliminary hearing, and would request to be heard on bond regarding that matter. In addition, there is an associated traffic case, the stop associated with the felony. We ask that be sent on time as well.
All right, so that'll probably be 19 TRD 04818 from December 17th. So we'll keep that with the felony charge. Now I see a recommendation for a $20,000 bond.
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead. You can. You want to?
He has on his record concealed weapon, domestic violence, prior felonious assault, and 2 prior possession of felony drugs.
Okay. Counsel.
Your Honor, what I would say is that, and this is also going to be tied into the probation case, is that my client was in the penitentiary from March 3rd, 2016 to March 3rd, 2018, which is why he wasn't reporting to probation as a result of one of those felony charges down in the county. Since he's been out, he's maintained employment. He's got a union job with Orlando Bread. He's making good money, working over 40 hours a week. Ultimately, bond is to make sure that he appears. It's not to be punitive. He would like to maintain his employment based off of that and his ability to pay. We are asking for a 10%. That's a significant bond. He's not looking to get any more warrants. His goal is to be able to resolve these cases down here and resolve this case down in the county. In addition to that, he would like me to request the court allow him to make a phone call. He's had his girlfriend in contact with his boss, but his boss does need to talk to him to find out if and when he can return back to work.
And counsel, how long? What was the jail time again? 2016 through
2018.
Okay.
He did 2 years, March 3rd, 2016 to March 3rd, 2018.
Mr. Medley, is that the basis of your violation?
Yes, Your Honor, I was mainly not reported to probation, and at this time, this will be a court decision.
All right. And then we have all these other driving cases that he's going to maintain not guilty on, correct?
Correct. I think ultimately we'll resolve those. I would note to the court, one of them was back from 2014. And he was obviously in court on the case that he was placed on probation with Mr. Medley in 2015, maybe even 2016. So some of those cases, I don't know why they're popping up now, but ultimately I think we'll resolve those as well as the new driving under suspension cases, Your Honor.
All right. So on those old cases or the driving under suspensions, I'm going to set those for February 5th at 1:30, and I'll give you a reminder for that. I am going to send the attached misdemeanor along with the felony, and I'm going to dismiss the I'm going to close the probation case. So we're not dealing with that. The only issue left open for me is your request for a $10,000 bond versus the city's request for a $20,000 bond. It's an objection with working with counsel in this bond so they can get out and face his felony charges. All right. So we'll go ahead and accept that. So it'll be reduced at this time. You'll be released once you post that bond.
From here?
If you post it from here, you will be released from here.
Okay, so
And Bailiff Plummer will coordinate with you, helping you get a phone call.
If I don't post the bond now, y'all send me down to the county.
Exactly. I'm glad you mentioned that. Your court date is December 23rd, which is Monday, 12th floor of the Justice Center. I'm going to give you another reminder for that. That's your court date for me. But your felony court date is Monday, 12th floor of the Justice Center at 9:45. So if you don't bond out here, you'll be transferred to make it to court. And keep in mind, at that point, that judge, that bond commissioner, they can raise or lower your bond how they see fit. So that's the reminder for the felony court, and the one that's in your hand is a reminder for me. All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, because I was going to say, the last time I was in the courtroom on you, and we was trying to get that understood, we had the same thing we just talked about. That's what it was. So I was understanding. I said, why do I keep on having all these warrants pop up? You know, and I thought that we resolved it. I remember that you did say, let me see, you said after we dismiss this, just come back or something.
Yeah, your warrant, from what I can tell, I think the only reason you have a warrant, I mean, you have all these old cases. Let me check, but the warrant is based on probation when you didn't show up because they didn't know where you were. And honestly, I don't even believe they necessarily check. You know, you have an obligation to show up, and if you don't, I know you're not thinking about that when you get locked up for 2 years to say, hey, let me notify East Cleveland, but that's what it was. It wasn't for the traffic. So we're good on the traffic. I'm gonna set it for February. Won't be any warrants issued as long as you make it back February 5th. Get it resolved. All right.
I ain't even gonna lie, I just struggled to get it. Now I'm in the union. I can't, you know.
All right.
I made it 12 a year.
And how old are you now?
32.
Okay, 32.
Hey,
Mr. Medley?
We keep warrants on them until they show up to probation. They don't show up, we want remains on there.
Okay. All right, so we're on the same page?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we'll see you in February, but good luck on your family. All right, take care. Yeah, you can. Absolutely. Good luck. You're welcome. Take care. Make sure you come back tomorrow to get that assistance. So we will, I don't know, do we have any trials this afternoon? I know we have a big probation docket. Does Zach have anything? We may be in good shape, but I know our docket is, Mark has a lot of folks he's sending in jail, so.
Not for Christmas. We gotta get his on. Right, whatever. It's only like a day or two. Well, maybe not one.
That's for Carmichael?
No, this is from the clerk's office, Judge. You're looking for Carmichael. They said you didn't put how much time on probation.
Oh, from Pritchett, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do 12.
Okay,
Thank you. All right, everyone, we will be back this afternoon. Reading these notes, funny.
Phone boy to answer.
30.
That young lady this morning, Rosado, she couldn't have been nicer.
Oh, hey, I don't think it was a matter of being not nice.
She just, what she did was she watched Jasna work with other people. And
she turns a lot of people off, man.
Before she got here, she said, hey, is that another lawyer that I can use? Yeah.
She's like, I don't understand any of these charges. I don't know what. She's like, the judge did more explaining to me. I'm like, oh, we'll just pretend like this is the first time you're coming.